going. Oh man, is it time for another episode?
Time for the next episode.
Already?
Yep.
It's time for the next episode of
All right.
The More You Know.
Hold
The
on.
More You Know.
The camera was on, but I gotta do this.
Whoa. Whoa. Oh, we just wasted
see? We
so
wasted
much
that
material.
with so much talent. Are you kidding me? It's time for another episode of
The More You Know. Welcome. Today.
welcome.
Today isn't, but the day you'll see this is Cinco de Mayo. So,
Yeah.
and you know what? We have our first unofficial sponsor. We are drinking Corona Premier. You know, funny fact, they actually named this after our company.
It's so lame.
I know.
Hold the virus,
Oh,
Wow.
but you know what? I had to say it. I told you I was going to say it. You knew it was
I
coming.
know. Yep, it was.
Can't be surprised.
And we're kind of doing two-fisted drinking here because I'm really not much of a beer drinker. In fact, if you see me on a beer, it's not good.
Yeah, you got to watch
Really.
out.
Yeah, it's really not.
But
that
he also
great.
doesn't want to be left out.
No,
so
I don't want to
still
be
had
left out.
Still had to open up for him.
Well, we have to plug our sponsors, and that's good.
Our unofficial sponsors that probably will
our sponsors are
want nothing to do with this.
Expect More,
there
Premier
you go.
Properties,
Yeah, that's the
and-
official, unofficial.
and I can't do that. So you show them your beer because I can't.
Oh my
All right,
gosh,
so
it's not that. Oh, it is that difficult.
See, told you. All right.
All right.
So
enough of
what's
that, enough
our
of that.
episode? What are we doing today?
Today we're actually going to have some fun today. Well, we try to have fun all the time, but today
Yeah.
we're going to tell stories and have some fun with the things that we've run across in the real estate game.
Yeah.
And we've been trying to come up with like a fun, name for this
It's
thing.
like real estate is like a bag of
Jelly beans?
jelly bellies.
Jelly
It's like,
bellies,
yeah,
that's
you never
what it
know
is.
what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Certain jelly bellies, right?
Yeah,
because some of them are
those kinda gag ones.
disgusting,
Yeah.
which they're awful. I don't even.
Yeah, but
that's a terrible name. It could be,
in
but it's
s-
not as trendy or tried as that box of chocolates thing.
It's a box of chocolates.
It's a box of chocolates. So we won't
So
go
bad.
there. We might even wait until we're completely done and then name it.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We're probably not that creative.
We're probably saying real estate is like a bag of jelly bellies and maybe stick with that.
I thought you were going somewhere else with
No,
that
no, no.
bag. Okay, just checking. All right.
So I suppose I should ask you what are some of the most fun? Well, some of the most interesting. It doesn't even need to be fun necessarily, just crazy. We see a lot of crazy stuff. Right?
Well, yeah, we do. And sometimes they're funny, interesting. Sometimes they're like, whoa. I can't
sometimes
believe
we
somebody
can't say anything about 'em.
And then sometimes they're like, I'd love to share that with you, but I don't want to rated R.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
it's like I don't know who in the business, if they've been in there too long, hasn't seen and no proclivities. I mean, I'm all right with whatever, but
Right. But sometimes
you know,
it's like when you're
sometimes
inviting people into your house,
yeah,
you put that away.
You could put the whips and chains away. That might not be the best thing, but it could be a marketing technique as well.
I suppose so. You're really
never know.
narrowing your field of buyers, but all right.
You never know. I mean, this is a fun house, I guess. I don't know.
guess
so. Yeah, we've seen mirrored. We've seen mirrored walls. We've seen
Mirrored ceilings.
We're not talking about mirrored walls. We're talking about like the entire basement was mirrored,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's not the only time we've seen entire stuff.
Oh
Like,
yeah, and speaking of basements, several years ago, before the little green weed was, go ahead
before
and
it was legal. I don't know
completely
what you're talking about.
Yeah,
really.
right. Yeah. So I was showing a house in this quaint little town outside of Grand Rapids, and I'm 99% sure that they had a grow room in the basement. And
How did you know that?
How would you know that, right? Because none of the boxes were there, none of the
No.
lights were there, but there sure were a lot of outlets on the ceiling.
Yeah.
And on the floor, they had actually painted, germination box and youngling box.
It's a little hard to keep the secret if you're going to paint the names of the boxes on the bottom
ground.
of the floor. Yeah,
Exactly. So
well, yeah.
I was
It's-
like, clients, you may want to check the walls if you buy this place. I don't know.
Just saying. Well,
Yeah.
you know what? It could be all set up for now because now you can open up your own legal deal.
Yeah, whoever did
which
buy
is-
that house, they
which is
could,
fine.
they
don't-
could have
I
a
don't-
nice little production going on
Yeah,
now.
I don't do that. I mean, I don't, because I'm just not a big smoker.
It might actually be good for you. I don't
It
know.
could. It could calm me
Glaucoma and
down.
all?
Oh, yeah, exactly. The glaucoma. I actually had a buddy of mine, way back in the day. He called it talking to Billy way back in the day. And honestly, if it hadn't have been
Talking
for
to
that
Billy.
talking to Billy, I got to go talk to Billy. And honestly, if he hadn't had it, I don't think the guy could have survived. I thought his blood pressure was all the time really high anyway.
Mellowed him
we
out.
digress.
Yes,
We're
I was
not
going to
talking
say
about
that is completely off topic.
we gotta go back to the real estate stories.
Yeah.
So what are some of the most, let me see, I'm checking my list. Because, you want to tell them about the ping pong?
Oh, the ping pong
Yeah,
one.
the
Yeah,
ping
that
pong
was,
guy.
That was kind of interesting because I definitely did not expect it. Walked into the basement of this beautiful house in like the Forest Hills area. And, the whole basement, I would say like the majority of the basement had a shrine to everything ping pong. Turns out this guy was a professional ping pong player.
Well,
made his own paddles. He had this table that apparently was like 10 grand ping pong table.
Wow.
Yeah. It had like this mechanical server on the other end that could like throw him side
Wow.
spinning balls and all that kind of
I
stuff.
didn't
And-
know that.
yeah, so it had all this crazy stuff, and we loved the house, but because it was like the majority of the basement, I'm standing in there with the buyers going,
Yeah.
what in the world
He's
could we do with this?
Probably had a big neon sign that says the table tennis menace or something.
Oh
deal
yeah,
like that.
something like that, something ridiculous.
Well, I
But
would,
ping pong,
ping pong, yeah.
King Kong, I don't know.
King Kong, yeah. So I remember, I gotta believe that early on in my career was really great. Because we do love this business because we see all kinds of things, and sometimes it's not too fun, but other times it's
They're a
kind
lot
of
of fun,
it's
yeah.
kind of sad sometimes, but then other times it's really happy, right?
Yep. Mhm.
And we met this one lady one time. She was wonderful, dreamboat wonderful,
Yep.
and her house was purple. And we're not talking about a
One
little purple. We're talking about the entire house, both inside
and outside.
and outside. Toilets were purple. Floors were
How do you
purple.
even find a purple toilet?
I don't know how that even happened.
That's
And maybe I'm just
astonishing.
remembering maybe because it had all the stuff.
They used to have green and pink toilets, so I'm sure you
Yeah.
get special order
if
of
you
purple.
wanted
one.
to have a purple toilet, you could do it.
Was it all the same purple, or was it like different
No,
shades?
it was basically literally the same purple.
Oh, so
Yeah,
she
there
didn't
were
even have
some-
any.
There were some white accents.
Just
Yeah.
to even it out.
Super nice. And she thought that it would be really easy to market because
It was purple.
it was purple, and who doesn't like purple? And I did say to her, I know that it's beautiful, but there is a little bit of a there might be a little narrowing of the buyer pool for
Buyer
the purple
pool, yeah.
house, yeah. So that was that, and then one of the other most memorable ones that I had was remember that one that was over there? We can't say it.
Yeah,
It was somewhere
keep
here in
Yeah.
town.
Yep.
And I walked into that. I was actually doing an appraisal on the thing back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And it had, I call it the carpet house because it was 100% carpeted. And
Yep.
that's not unusual to have a carpeted house. But
Right.
in this case, it was
Not just the floors.
Yeah, floors, walls, ceilings, staircases, everything. The whole house was carpeted.
Which is
And,
astonishing to me.
and it was
like-
carpeted with remnants.
so it wasn't even like
All different colors, all different shapes, all different sizes.
That's amazing.
It was remarkable, and I was sitting there, and they're very proud because the workmanship, the craftsmanship, the artistry was incredible.
Was it actually laid well, or was it like?
It was very very nicely
so
done.
no wonder they're yeah. It's like the tilemen who like put 19 different tiles in.
All I could think of was, wow, how do you get this off?
Right, exactly. You're never
going to get it off.
not without having to probably redo the wall after you do take it
Oh
off.
yeah, you'd have to do that because I'm sure that they glued it down so it didn't go anywhere.
Yep.
And so what?
Oh, I thought what was the other one you were going to talk about? Oh, the train track guy.
Oh, that dude was really upset with us.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was very upset with us because his house was, really nice.
Yeah,
But it was out in Ada area.
but it was
right?
didn't he want like something like $100,000 more than
more because he was a train aficionado, a really good guy. He knew everything about trains and
Yep.
and he'd gone out and purchased like the crossing
crossing
deals,
arms,
the crossing
yeah.
gates,
Yeah.
right? And they worked.
Yeah, he wired it up. Yeah.
You drove up to his house.
You
And
actually
then,
had to
you know,
cross. You had to
yeah.
cross train tracks
No
to
train,
get to his house.
no train tracks,
What?
just the appearance of train tracks. And,
Oh, that's right. I thought
Yeah.
he had laid a couple on either side though.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
don't
it didn't go
remember.
a long way, but it was still there.
It could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had to break it to him that it probably wasn't gonna,
Fly.
no, it
The
probably wasn't
flashing
gonna get
lights in
the amount of
arm.
money that he thought
Yeah.
it was gonna be. And everybody has their interest. It's
I
really
know.
great. Makes the world go round, right?
Offered he could probably take it with him, but he didn't want to do that.
Yeah, he didn't want to do that. He was gonna. He went out and found him, and then he was going to leave it for the next training aficionado that came in and
Yep.
bought his house.
Because there's a lot of those out there buying houses.
There's a ton
the
of
time.
them.
I'm sure there
everyone I've
are
seen.
people buying houses,
Yeah.
but for them to find that one house and want to buy it,
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
they would have.
So,
think so.
and then I don't know. I think the one of the most awesome ones,
Hmm.
and I still don't understand why she was telling me this, but remember that house it was out in eastern counties from Grand Rapids. Remember that
Yeah.
old historic house
Yeah.
And-
Okay.
that she had? It was a beautiful old house,
Mhm.
but she made no bones about it that they had somebody, her and her husband had somebody living with them,
Mhm.
and somebody who's living with them was like had long since passed.
Ah.
He was
So he was.
he described
He was a
described
very
him.
very quiet,
He
or
was-
hopefully quiet.
Well, he wasn't very quiet.
tenant
Yeah, he wasn't quiet. At certain times,
at certain times. Yeah.
they'd pass him in the hall,
Yep.
and I was like, oh, well, this is really interesting. So I'm going through the house and doing my thing, and then she said, yeah. I said, well, what was the most memorable? What was that? And she goes, oh, it was really kind of the only time I really got kind of disconcerted was I was kind of changing. I was changing in the bedroom, and I was sitting on the bed, and my husband came in and sat on the other side of the bed, and I started talking to him, and he didn't say anything. So
You
I turned around,
yeah.
and guess what?
There was nobody on the bed.
Nobody was there.
Yeah, that's
So-
creep. So,
so-
he was kind of a creeper of a
Yeah, he was a creeper of a creep.
creep.
He was a creepy creeper.
Oh man.
So-
I'm sorry. I'd want to move too, but I
Yeah.
don't think I'd be sharing the story of
Yeah, it's like I don't know what to do with that information.
this house comes with extras.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I suppose it could improve the marketability if you were into that.
I guess so. Especially if you want to be on one of those
I was like,
Discovery Channel things
La, la, la,
for
la,
ghost
la, la, I
hunters.
don't want to hear any of this. No, right?
Yeah, but there's been other fun things. Like we've run into a number of people that are really into like classic cars, but there was one guy in particular.
Oh,
He had like
uh,
2 barns.
yeah,
Or
2
was-
barns.
Yeah, it was
and,
2
and
barns.
You know
just-
what was so cool about that?
what's that?
I mean, I felt his wife was like, no, don't tell him, don't have that. She was being like straight up, right?
Yep. And if you're watching, we're not going to tell you where it is.
No, and he's passed, and
Oh,
I
that's-
think things
yeah.
are, so we're good.
Yep.
We zipped the lip, and that
Yep,
was really
we
great.
promised.
Yeah, but wonderful guy,
Yeah.
and he collected amazing cars.
Yeah, he had like 36 or something like that.
Well, it was 2 buildings full, so I don't
Yeah,
know
it
what
might
that
have been
was.
more than
Yeah,
that.
it was,
I think I only saw the one.
yeah, it was. Those were 1976 Cutlass.
Mm-hmm.
You had a Skylark from there, or not a Skylark. What was the Buick? I guess it was a Skylark from
Yeah, it was a
that time, right?
Yep.
And it had like 45 miles on it.
That's
Original
insane.
tires, the whole 9 yards. They just bought it and parked it, and that was it. He had a Rolls Royce Silver Shadow, and he just was a really cool guy.
Yeah. And you wanted
he
to
had
show
an
off his
electric
cars.
car. He had a steam powered car. He had all
He didn't
kinds
have
of
a
cars.
Tesla. This was before that.
Yeah, he didn't have a Tesla. So anyway, here, I don't know
But-
what. Yeah. Oh, another creepy one, just for a little bit. But
Oh, see, I
here's
don't,
what you find in the real estate business.
I
Watch
don't
this.
know if I gave him clearance for this one, so watch out, everybody.
So we had this really great clients. They're still really good friends of ours, really good clients of ours, and they had a house, and there was a family member at one point staying in the house with them, and whatever. And apparently, we just kept trying to market this house, and it got shown all the time, and we just never could get an offer on it. We don't know why, right? So somewhere along, we even buried, St. Joe, or is it St. Joe? I'm not Catholic. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Upside down in the yard and the whole 9 yards. They were, and nothing seemed to work in getting offers in. Lots and lots of showings, but no offers.
No offers. Yep.
And so somewhere along the line, the wife got a hold of this gal through a friend, and they were
She was like a feng shui master.
she
wasn't
was a
she?
feng shui master, and I swear when I first saw her, she looked like that little woman on Poltergeist. You know that? Like, oh yeah, and she's
Yep.
walking through the
Yep.
house, right?
Mhm, I know exactly what you're talking
and
about.
she's telling him that there's bad energy. There wasn't anything in the house. There's no
Yeah,
furniture.
they
or
had already
anything.
moved out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, how do you feng shui a house that doesn't have anything in it?
Mm-hmm.
She did.
Yep. It's about the energy.
Yeah.
Not the
and
stuff.
And she had to have, husband had to forgive this room here, and
Mhm.
there was some contention apparently there, and in the past, and so it was. I was dumbstruck by the whole thing, and
Yeah.
then
So was the husband because she
yeah.
made him like mean it too. It wasn't just a say you're sorry.
no,
it was like say you're sorry
you gotta
to
forgive
the house.
and you got to
Yeah.
forgive this. This is and all of it.
Yeah.
And guess what happened the next weekend? By the end of that weekend, this was on a Friday.
Yeah.
Right?
You got six offers. I was gonna say it was several offers.
6 offers.
And this was ways back when if a house has been sitting, you're
Yeah,
lucky to get
kinda
one
snake bit,
eventually.
and it's going to be low.
Yeah.
But these were not. So I don't know what all I want to know. So we wouldn't need her now,
Yeah. But
but boy,
it would have been it'd be nice every now and then. You'd
and
be like,
I lost her number.
What?
Somebody told me they'd sent me the number, and I never.
you really
I know.
need to Rolodex.
I need somebody to increase the number of available properties.
There you go. Yeah,
that
that'd
would be
nice.
good in our marketplace.
Yep. That's the one real estate pitch there.
So if anybody, you guys out
Yeah,
there,
if anybody needs
you want to get rid of your house, here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
We can sell it for a lot.
That's right.
Just not so
even
sure
without
where
the feng shui lady.
Exactly. We don't need the feng shui lady today.
Yeah. Well, we wanted something fun this go around. We try to make all of them fun, but this particular time we wanted to tell you some fun stories, kooky
Yeah, they
stories.
weren't necessarily funny, but they were just kind of weird and
I enjoyed
fun.
I
Did you?
enjoyed it.
Okay, good.
I'm assuming
they did
I hope
too.
they did too. I know it's about them, but whoever really watches these anyway. So as long as we're having a good time.
Yeah, it's exactly right. I don't know how many people watch this stuff.
I don't either.
So it's important for us to have a good time while we're doing it.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So for now, that is this week's episode. In a
wrap
couple
it up.
weeks, yeah, I got to wrap it up.
We're gonna wrap it up.
Our time is done. We're done. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of The More You Know. If you're liking what you're hearing or seeing, go ahead and subscribe, all that jazz, wherever.
Where the
We're going to
button
keep
is.
changing it so Travis doesn't know where to put the button. But we really appreciate you taking the time. And
And we promise we'll be back with future episodes that'll actually, bless your life with information. Right?
yes, we will. We'll always do that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
But
this
in
is-
between, you got to
it's
have a
Cinco
good
de
time.
Mayo, though.
Right. Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks again and have yourself a blessed week. Bye.